Good morning, Mayhem Makers. Mindy with Quilting Mayhem. Welcome to sunny, okay, let's try to be sunny, January and very snowy. So I'm working out of my home, so bear with me this morning. I just wanted to give you the kind of the lowdown because we're just starting out in the temperature quilt, and I know I got a lot of you guys are new, so which I'm super excited, and I want to make sure I get you all the info so you know what's going on and how this is really gonna work. Okay, so some things to keep in mind. Just because I'm doing half square triangles and doing a calendar type layout and those kinds of things, you don't have to. You can do whatever layout you like. Search social media. There's all kinds of temperature quilts out there. And there may be some other layout that you like or some other plan that you like. Please feel free. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I love seeing when people go rogue and get creative. So let your temperature quilt be your quilt. But if you're following along doing half square triangles like I am and all that kind of stuff, that's mostly what I'll be speaking to throughout the year. And it'll get pretty cut and dry, and we'll just kind of keep going along throughout the year till our quilt's done. So, but I thought I'd kind of show you, I had questions about the calendar layout. So bear in mind, last year I tried to go a little crazy and it didn't work out as well. I did not complete my quilt because it was too labor intensive, which is why I'm now coming back to just half square triangles. But if you're interested in kind of the calendar layout, I thought I'd show you. I had a couple months done just so you get an idea of how to look. And because I'm in my room, I'm a little tight on space. So let's see if we can do this. All right, so keep in mind, this gray square, this is whatever day on your calendar is not an actual day. So this is what I call kind of a fill space. So that's what the gray is for. It's going to fill in any days that aren't actual calendar days. Okay, so say this is, this was probably January last year. And so January 1st this would represent Monday because I start my calendars Sunday to Saturday. All right, so Sunday wasn't an actual day in January in the beginning. This is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Okay, so we just go across 7 days a week, 6 rows, because unfortunately some of our months roll into needing that extra row. So you end up with a lot of fill sometimes at the bottom, like this guy. See, we had essentially an entire week and 2 days that didn't have dates, but because further down the road, one of the months needs that 6th row and we want some continuity, that's why we have all these rows. So if you look at the PDF that I put in and it gives you kind of that calendar layout and you see all the gray squares, hopefully this helps it make more sense for you guys. Those are just, if you're looking at a paper calendar, that's how it's going to look. And I like that layout because my first one, which I did actually complete, so I am a finisher sometimes, just not always, I got a lot going on. But my first year, I did actually rectangles, okay? So it gave it a little more fun, and I went just in straight rows. It was my first year doing it. Hadn't really even tried it before, so I went simple, except for that I wanted rectangles versus just half square triangles, because apparently I just don't like doing easy. So that's what this quilt is. And so this is, you go January, February, March, and it just straight lines. You can do this. It's nice and simple. And then you just kind of have your fill at the end because you're always starting at 1 and just going down through however many days, and then your bottom, wherever it's at. It turns out pretty big. I used big rectangles. Somewhere in the end, there we go. Then I had these gray squares to fill in and rectangles just to fill in the missing days. Okay, so that's the other plan. They do kind of become big unless you decide to do a lot smaller. Okay, so let's get that stuff out of the way. But otherwise, it's going to be king size, guys, if you stick with the 4.5-inch squares cut. So I like to go through and pre-cut. I haven't done all of them yet, but here's, because it's snowing, my cold temperatures. So I have, from 32 down. So I keep this guy handy, put it in a little plastic sleeve. Me and sheet protectors, we're BFFs. So I have this handy, I have my squares handy. That way I'm ready to roll, okay? And I just have them, nice stack pre-cut, so I can just grab and go as I need to. And then I have this fun, the things you find at IKEA. Doesn't this make you happy? This beats the snow. This will eventually all just be pre-cut squares, but the struggle's real. The holidays and the snow really kind of slowed down my actually getting things done. But eventually that'll just be a nice bin of all the squares, and I can just kind of grab and go as I need to. If I fall behind, it makes it super easy because all that part's cut. It's ready. And then all you're doing is you're taking your 2 squares and putting them together. So whatever your high temperature for the day and low temperature for the day, you grab a square of each, just put them together, draw a line. Now keep in mind, you're going to end up with 2, which can be efficient, but you may end up with extras, which I think you can do some fun stuff in the end. But what's nice is that you'll have the one that you need for the day and an extra one that potentially, especially in Washington, we have a lot of days with the same kind of temperature scale. You're just being efficient. That's what I'm calling it. But you'll draw your line, stitch 1/4 inch down either side. Hopefully you can, whoops, we'll flip it so you see what the line is. So line, 1/4 inch either side, then you cut it apart. I always press mine open. I just like mine open and flat. If you do not, press to the dark side, or whatever side thrills you. I mean, they're half square triangles. You're not gonna have a lot of seams trying to argue with each other, so it shouldn't be too difficult. And then trim it to 4 inches. Make sure you're trimming each block to 4 inches so that in the end, when you put everything together, it's not all wavy and wonky. And then what will happen is you'll end up with squares as your fill for the calendar. I will go through and calculate those fills. So instead of having like a whole bunch of 4.5 inch gray squares, which you can, I actually went through last year and calculated, you know, if it was 2 days of fill you needed, it was 4.5 by 9. You know, and I did all that math for you guys. So I will try to do that again so that if you just want rectangle fill for all the dead spaces, you can pre-cut those guys and have them ready to put in each month as needed. But otherwise, I mean, this is how easy it is. I mean, I'm going to knock out 2 days in 5 minutes. So, which for my life, that's what I need. Because of course, if you've been following me, you know I have a whole bunch of sew-alongs and things, let alone with the shop, that I need to keep on top of. So this will keep it easy. I can, you know, lose track for a week and just catch up super quick and all those kinds of things. So that's kind of trying to keep it simple, and especially if any of you are new sewists, this is a nice, easy practice. You'll be like half square triangle master by the time you're done with this. So my plan is I'll have each month potentially on my design wall. We'll see if it fits. And then as each month goes, I will assemble the month, kind of like I did with these guys. These were at least a month at a time. Label them, set them aside until, you know, the year starts becoming more complete. I am also going to use, I have numbered pins. And so my plan is, as I go through each day, number them, you know, try to keep them in a nice little stack so that if they don't make it to my design wall, I still have them numbered, so I'm not going back and going, okay, what day was this? What temperatures were these? All that kind of stuff. So make sure you're keeping yourself in some sort of system to keep your blocks organized, or you're going to spend a lot of time going back through your chart and your squares going, I have 15 squares and I don't know what days they represent, and trying to sort all that out will just make you mental in the end. So figure out a system, whether it's pieces of paper, sticky notes, blue painter's tape, numbered pins, what have you, just to keep them organized, because I may not always get them to the design wall, or because I have several projects going at the same time, I may have to take them off the design wall. And I want to make sure I'm not spending a lot of time backtracking what's going on. And then the extra one, I'm just going to have, you know, essentially a pile. I may decide to write the temperatures on here, so that as like tomorrow comes, I can go, oh, this is the same colors I needed for day 3. And then this just becomes day 3, and voila, it's done. This is my favorite part. I don't know why. It just makes me so excited that it's potentially just going to be super easy to stay on top of. But that's the goal, because in the end, you just want this nice, pretty quilt that's going to represent the year in your area. So I did send the link for the weather app or website that I use to keep track of things, you can use the Excel spreadsheet that I shared, and I just plug in all the temperatures. So like if I fall behind, I just look at the calendar, fill in however many days behind, and then I can start kind of knocking those bad boys out and get caught up. And so it's a nice tool to have, or a paper calendar, just something so that, you know, at least you have those dates ready to go, and you can just sit with your layout and your fabric and just start getting it done. Don't let yourself get too far behind. Don't get too overconfident. But certainly, you know, may not be something you have to do every day where you sit down and go, yep, I'm going to make one today. You can do it every couple days and knock them out still in a fairly quick amount of time. So, but like I said, don't let it get too far behind, because I don't want you guys getting frustrated and giving up on it, okay? Because it's going to be fun and they're pretty. Go check them out. There's a lot of really pretty ones on social media, so it's a lot of fun. And I've seen all different kinds. I've seen where people have represented snow with different fabric, or they've embroidered on it, all those kinds of things, or they've put in people's birthdays and all that kind of stuff. So anything you want to add to it, please feel free. Do any of those types of things, because it's your quilt. It is representing your year of 2022. We're here. It's going to be a great year. I'm excited. We're just going to get a lot done. So if you need anything, have any questions, reach out to me, email me, Mindy@quiltingmayhem.com, or through the group or Messenger, you name it. Call me at the shop, see me at the shop, any of those types of things. We'll keep you going and answer any questions. Oh, and just a reminder, if you did the bundle, the starter bundle, it is just a starter bundle, because there are a lot of you in other states, and your states may be colder, hotter, all those kinds of things. So you may run out of certain colors faster than I do. So it is just a get you going bundle, but we keep Kona in stock all the time. So definitely it'll be easy to refill colors as you need them, and the gray as you need it, and all those kinds of things, because you may change your sashing, or even the gray. You may not like gray and decide you want black or white or some pretty rainbow fabric for all, you know, it can be whatever you want. So just keep that in mind. This is not going to last you for the year. There are colors that you will need to refill as you go, which is why in the chart, in the PDF, we gave you all the Kona names, color numbers, and all of that, so you can just order and refill as you need, or go to your local quilt shop if you're not local here and they carry Kona, at whatever works. Okay, guys? So I hope you're as excited as I am. January 1st and 2nd done. Yay! And we're just going to keep on going. All right? Hope you have a fabulous week. Welcome to 2022. Keep on stitching.